Hey guys, Surfing here for an interview, and today I will be reviewing Season 3, Episode 3 of Attack on Titan, or Episode 40. So, this episode, it was really mainly just flashbacks and origins, speaking more on Historia. I was about to call it Krista, doesn't matter, same person. But where she grew up and what happened to her, and pretty much how she got the name Krista Lenz. So that was interesting. I remember reading the manga. I feel like there's a little more. It was a little more in depth than I thought, or maybe that was just really too. It was just animated. When you read the manga and then when you go see it finally these parts of the manga animated, you look at it like, did that actually happen? Is that how it really happened, or did they all? Yeah, you start to think, oh, did they change something? To me, it doesn't matter because season 3 is awesome. I really am enjoying it. And we got to learn more about Erwin. I already knew, but apparently, his father might have been killed by the government because of him, in Erwin's words, him being a foolish child. And yeah, I feel like this part, when Erwin was talking about his past, I think it was more in depth. Or maybe it was later on, there was more to it. That's me. And I'm really, with this, okay, reviewing this season is different from reviewing like, my weekly episodes of Boruto, because Boruto's not, Boruto stuff is all canon, but it doesn't, they haven't reached manga territory yet. So, it's different. But with this, I kind of already knew what happened, so I was very hesitant to review Season 3, but I was going to do it. Excuse me. Anyways, so, to get my thoughts and opinions on it. I love this season, personally. This episode was great. It was good information. I was deciding whether to watch this episode today, because it is Sunday, it came out today. Might be more Monday when some of you guys see it, but I decided to do it. But yeah, it's just, I think all of us Mikasa fans kind of just want Mikasa to go save Aaron's ass again. Levi has stopped on numerous occasions. He's basically telling her to chill out, like, we can't go on a rampage, not yet, not just yet. Okay, we just need to be rational about this, and I'm glad that Mikasa's actually listening to Levi. I'm glad he's telling her this, because you know what? We all know what Mikasa gets when she's around whenever time Aaron gets kidnapped. Yeah. Trying to prevent more injuries happening to her. She's already been through enough. That's my opinion. But I decided to point that out because I always think that's funny. I enjoy it. So, yeah, Hanji's going to be the next commander after Erwin, that. And then we got more information on, between the two guys he had hostage and stuff. I'm not going to get too much into it because it was just a little scene. But, I really want to talk about the Krista story, whatever you want to call her, backstory. It's really interesting because her mother, I forget her name. Her mother, her name was never said in the episode, but Historia's mother it's one of those cases where a mother has a child and she regrets it. She hates the child for even being alive, and it's probably under the circumstances she had the child. And damn, I can't say that. I was gonna say something, but that reveals manga content that we won't reach till season 8, season 5 or something in Attack on Titan. Yeah, I just realized that. I was like, oh crap. But continue on. So it potentially her mother never wanted to have Krista, but was probably forced to have her. And Historia grew up. I keep switching through Krista and Historia. I just realized that. But anyways, y'all know what I mean. Grew up, kind of had a farm, took care of it. Her mother did doing housework, she sat at the tree reading her books. But the first time Krista wanted to have an actual interaction, like more of an intimate interaction with her mother. It went bad, but in a way, in Historia's mind, it didn't matter her reaction. It mattered that she actually paid attention to her for once. It was the attention that mattered, not the love. There was no love there, and her mother was killed by Kenny and his men as her throat was sliced. Yeah, I really am adoring the animation in. Is my recording? Okay. Yeah, in this, every season it gets better and it's amazing. I love it. I love the art style. These episodes pretty much get a 10 out of 10 for epic animation, for everything. It's such a good anime. I don't think there's a bad episode, because I really enjoy the story of Attack on Titan. I really enjoy all the aspects to it. So continue on with Historia's backstory, and so she finally meets her father, Rodriguez. Very interesting in this arc that he plays such a huge role, and he comes up one day to Chris saying he's her father, and he's gonna go take her. Potentially, probably was gonna take her back home, but Kenny's men stopped him. Her mother was killed by this because Rod lied to them that he had nothing to do with them, and so Krista eventually, to save her from Kenny and his people, he gave her the fake name of Krista Lenz, and she's enrolled into the military, basically. That's just basically what the origin of her. And then, from then on, and then Krista meets Amir, and then the romance begins. As you guys know, pretty much they're in love, and pretty much everyone. I think pretty much a lot of Attack on Titan fans ship them, because it's so obvious. It's just blatantly like that. Oh yeah, they're kind of like, yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. So I was looking at sorry, I'm looking at, is it playing music in the background? I was like, what is it doing? And I just realized it's play it. Come on. Alright, there it goes. Sorry. Skip to with no lyrics because I don't want to get copyrighted. Alright, there we go. Alright. Anyways, but it's very interesting what Chris's past is. Maybe she went her entire life without knowing she was from the royal bloodline in the Attack on Titan universe. And so she became, from growing up on like a little farm to someone very important, but Krista becomes a very crucial and important character in the Attack on Titan series later on, and not now, because we're starting to learn everything about her, who she is, and where did she originate, who is Historia Rest, I think, yeah. So it's very interesting because we all can say Historia had pretty much kind of a sad backstory. All these characters have suffered through something in their lives. And I think Historia is on the list of who has the worst. We all know who has the worst in Attack on Titan. It has to be between Mikasa or Levi at this point in my mind. I'm like, it's one of these two. I just can't decide. Your parents get murdered at the age of like 9 or something like that. At that very young age, Mikasa had her parents were killed. And then Levi, I can't say much for the only anime watchers, but you will learn more about Levi later. So it's very interesting what happens there, and it was pretty messed up what's happened to Levi. He grew up it was very hard for him. There was no one who really loved him in his life. That's all I'm going to say. That he can remember. Yep. So, yep, Historia and Aaron are still kidnapped. Also, I forgot to mention, the military police is they're all looking for all the scouts, capturing them, probably arresting. That there's going to be a little revolution that might happen in Attack on Titan. One of the reasons why I love this season so much is it dives into a deeper and darker part of the series that, in season 1 we never thought that could happen. It was going to be always about the Titans. In these kind of situations, and when the world is manifest by this one being or thing that happens, or some kind of apocalypse that happens, like the end of the world, or tell you that I don't want to say it's the end of the world or it's apocalypse. It's stories like these. There's always the humans you have to worry about, because people can lose it in these times. If you watch The Walking Dead, you all know what I'm talking about. So I kind of like to relate to The Walking Dead in some aspects because it has similar, but Titan's on its whole new level. I just wanted to make that relation. So, what else can I say? I don't think there's not a lot to these episodes. There's like little minor details we need to pay attention to. There are things, the big thing. This episode was really about Historia's past and everything. So, and then we also find out that they're gonna try to eat Eren too. That's But the reason why I don't want to get too much into it is because we will see what happens later. And yeah, people who don't read the manga, well, you're the next surprise, a treat. So I'm gonna give this episode 10 out of 10 because I just am, because it was a really enjoyable episode. Like the information, the backstories, Erwin's, it just explains something that happened to him as a child. But the focus episode was mainly on Historia, and we got to learn what her backstory and animation. There was good music in the background. Everything. It was just a good episode. And I'm just gonna give it 10 out of 10 because I love Attack on Titan and I love this. Just gonna leave it at 10 out of 10. Just don't question it. Just let it. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and this review. And leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I do weekly reviews on Boruto, Naruto Next Generation, and also weekly reviews on Attack on Titan Season 3. I do the monthly mangas for both. So, and anyways, guys, it's Starfire. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.